Hey, good Monday afternoon, everybody. It's Dave coming to you from the dog yard here in Southern Maryland. I've actually got you pointed the other way. That's looking back up into my front yard. It's about 3:30 Monday afternoon. It's 83 degrees with just a touch of a slight breeze. You can see how nice the sky looks over there, but I mean, just look at this puffy white clouds. Just perfect day. Almost too warm. So March definitely went out like a lamb the last few days. Like perfect spring weather. So mid 80s is about as high as I like to go, period. So 83 is kind of perfect. This makes me a little nervous that we're at 83 on the last day of March, and it's our third mid 80s day in the last 5 days. So I don't want us to stay. I don't want to stay mid to upper 80s into April and May. That's what mid June to mid September is for. But anyway, perfect, beautiful day out here. Oh my gosh. See a little bit of what my wife calls the redbud tree is starting to bud out here. A lot of things around the yard are starting to look like spring has sprung. The greening, as we call it, all these trees starting to bud out, just create an immense amount of green pollen, and it turns all our cars green every day. So the next day or two, I'll actually show you what the black expedition looks like. So guys, today we are smoking the Perdomo 30th anniversary. This is another one that didn't make my top 10. The Champagne 10th anniversary did make my top 10. This made my honorable 4. So it's in my top 14, but it's honorable mention, and I probably won't keep them up. I'll probably let the honorable mention 4 go away, but I got a whole bunch of these. A new box came in last fall, so I've got a bunch of these. But anyway, that's what we're smoking. It is punch cut as always, and we'll get it lit. Come back and chat. Here's a daily dog look. There goes Echo off on her own. Gonna be a cow. Should call us your daily cow update. So there is Finn and Sasha being a cow. Where's Chance, you ask? Chance is over there being Chance. He's making sure nothing busts through that fence. Anyway, he's just off being his own dog. That's what he does all the time. Just Chance being Chance, as I always say. We see Sasha doing some upside down work. You don't see that very often at all. Usually much more serious dog than that. So kind of fun to see her having some fun. So I had a good day, a productive day. It's kind of a chore-based day, but we all need those. So I did some work on my 65 Cobra. Got it running. Spring and summer is a nice time to drive that thing. So I have to decide if I'm comfortable with Sasha running shotgun in a convertible. But I put a 1-minute video into my book read this morning. I'll put the same 1-minute video here. It's just me getting the Cobra started. You can hear it running. It's got a big block 454 and it got the engine weighs more than the car does. But it's a fun little car, and it needed some work, and it needed a new battery, and got all that done today. So it's up and running, ready to go. So that's what I'll do here. I got my Cobra started up. A good spring vehicle. Big block 454. Side pipes. That's a great way to burn yourself right there. Sounds good though. it's kind of funny. I'll just show you a picture here. Funny, even the industrial park can look good here. Spring in April. So I'll put up a little picture of what I see right outside my door at the car warehouse, or the paddock as we call it. See all the dogs laying in the only bit of shade really out here in the dog yard right now. As evening progresses, the shade will come back across my back here, but see them all just laying in the shade, and these three are laying in their mud holes. See Sasha's so deep, just her butt sticking out there. So we've seen this in Maryland before, where we kind of we get like really a skipped spring, and I don't know if we're gonna skip spring this year, if we're just having a freaky few days. But currently we've skipped the 60s and 70s. We've gotten right from 40s and 50s to upper 70s and 80s, and I hate those years. I much prefer the 50s to turn into 60s, 60s turn into 70s, 70s turn into upper 70s. And we get in the 80s, come May. And we've had years where we've skipped and gone right from 50s to 80s, and even 80s into 90s in March and April. In some of those years, we don't get any rain from April 1st till into October. So, we'll see what kind of year we're headed for. But those are the bad years, where it's high heat and no rain. It's really hard on the horse farm. It's really hard on the dog yard. It's really hard on the dogs. Once we get into the mid 80s, the dogs don't like it much either. So we'll see. Anyway, it's beautiful out here today. I don't mean to complain too much, but it's concerning that we're in the mid 80s already, and it's March 31st. We'll talk about the cigar for a minute. It's so again, it's the Perdomo 30th anniversary. It's super light. I mean, super light. It's super mild. I wouldn't even call it mild plus. It's just plain mild. It's super smooth. It's got a little bit of a taste to it. If you're a light cigar smoker, this is a great smoke. I can't tell you what the budget worthiness is of this. I just don't remember. But a lot of people will say this is smoking hot air. I can hear it. I can hear like the Uncle Willie's or the St. Dave's, or the guys who smoke a little bit hardier will call this hot air. But it doesn't mean it's not good, but it is extremely mild. And some of you might actually like that. There's the wife coming home from riding her horse at the horse farm. So I don't know how many of you are following my book reading, but today was chapter 9, and it was the threat to the American way. Hey. And the scary part is how relevant that chapter reads to the last several years. And the other scary part is how that the book was written in 1957. Hey, come here. And I just think it points out there's a ceaseless effort to attack the United States way of life, our freedom of our political system, the freedom of our religious system, the freedom of our economic system is continuously and always under attack. And what worries me is the number of people that seem to be listening to the attacks today, and I mean from the inside of the United States. That how many young people feel like maybe our way of life is a failed experiment. We should try others. And boy, does that chapter, the title of the one I put up earlier today was "This is Scary." And if you haven't listened to it, it's pretty short. It's like 15, 16 minutes, and the book part's only like 12 or 13. You read and go, that thing was written 60, almost 70 years ago, and how relevant it is to today. And it just makes me nervous how constantly under attack our way of life is, and how vigilant we must be generation after generation after generation to keep our country the way it is, to keep it as free as it is. Anyway, I just thought that was a that was a mind-blowing experience for me a couple days when I read that chapter, and then I had it again reading it to you today. So I had a great call today. So good touch point with my Wyoming lounge. So you guys have seen Dave, the guy who runs the lounge, but the guy who owns it is Brady. His home is Lake Havasu, but he was in Jackson for the renovation, which, as you saw, turned out awesome. But he wanted to schedule a call to talk about cryptocurrency because he's a newbie. He wants to start dabbling in crypto. So it felt really good to have this kind of hour-long conversation with a newbie. I mean, he's a man of means, but he really hasn't started doing much in crypto, and just to talk to somebody who was serious about it and was really getting started with it and was going to make real moves in it. It was gosh, it just felt good. Plus to have that touch point and build that relationship. I got a great one with Dave. It'd be really nice to build this relationship with Brady. So anyway, I know Brady. No ways Brady watching this, but if you were Brady, I enjoyed the call and hope we can do more. And then I just hosed him down with a whole bunch of texts on what to look for, what to look at, and I'm not done. I didn't want to completely murder him with text today, but it was a great day. And then I told you I worked on the cars a little bit. This has been get all the cars, make sure every car. You saw me do my tack gear, make sure my tack gear was all ready. And then the last few days was make sure all the cars are in perfect order, perfect running order. I've got 2 more that I've got a couple things to work on, but certainly in the next couple of weeks, all the cars will be in perfect working order. The problem with owning toys is you've got to use them. How many people have that second or third car they don't ever drive, or the boat they never take out, or the RV they don't use, or the RV they don't use? That's one of the dangers, and I fall into that. I've got all these wonderful toys in the way of cars that I don't use as much as I should, especially with Sasha, because she's with me literally all the time. So these cars have to be able to have a 80-pound dog riding shotgun. And some of them don't make sense. You don't want to I don't want to put a dog into my, $200,000-$300,000 McLaren. That'd be stupid. I fixed a lamp today. I haven't done like one of the lamps in our family room broke while I was gone, and my wife asked me if I'd take a look at it. So I brought it into the shop and tore it down and got it working. So it was another boring day. So I changed the battery in the cars, fixed the lamp, had a crypto call. That's the kind of the regular hour-to-hour life of my life. So, but it's a good day. I love those little things that you can pick up, get done, mark off, move on from. A bunch of those comprise a really good day for me. So I've had a bunch of comments the last week about kind of the implosion of the pipe tobacco world a little bit. And, I put up a series of videos last year about, it's never going to be cheaper or easier to buy tobacco than it was back then. And I'll say it again today. It's never going to be cheaper or easier to buy tobacco than it is right now. I mean, since making those videos, the HU blends seem to be readily available in Esterval's. If you go to Esterval's pipe shop in Germany, you can still buy it, but then you got to ship it into the U.S. And sometimes it comes through no issues, and sometimes it gets caught and sent back. It just seems to be dependent on which CBP port it comes into. So the one here in DC, I've never got one flagged. I'm 20 for 20, and the one in Wyoming comes through Salt Lake, and I'm 0-2 out there. I don't think that's going to get any easier. If Esterval's can't get HU, you're going to see HU go away because it's hard to find here in the U.S. We've seen Sutliff go away. You've seen STG say they intend to axe many, if not most, of their own line because they're under this kind of corporate process improvement. They want to, if they want to shrink it down to their top 20% revenue-wise, not sales-wise, not volume-wise, but their top 20 money makers are the 20 blends they're targeting. Does that mean, are they really going to kill 80% of STG's lines? Boy, it sure seems like they are serious about it. And then I've heard from several of you, Mark being one of them, but others have talked to me too about Ken Byron Ventures doesn't want to ship overseas anymore. And some of the big pipe websites are starting to say they won't ship overseas anymore. And I just think that's going to continue to grow. The number of people that aren't willing to deal with the EU or the UK's import laws. So, and I'll tell you, shipping from the US to either the EU, particularly the EU or the UK, the US has come up with a different customs form. You really, unless you're going to commit legal formal perjury to the US government, you can no longer write hobby supplies. They have a very specific pull down list that you must choose from. And hobby supplies isn't one of them anymore. So I guess if you're willing to lie, and it says there you have to sign under that you're committing felony perjury. If you write something in there and sign, I'm not saying they will, but they could. And I have too much to risk in my life to get a felony perjury charge on me. I think that's going to continue to get worse. Other countries are probably going to do similar things. And then here in the U.S., since I put up those first posts, we now have 5 states and several others considering no import of tobacco across their state line. So there's 5 formals that have made that decision, and others are considering it. So I think that's going to get worse too. So something Johnny Onion said, pipe on the patio, 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. He said that he's done cellaring wide. He's now picked the blends he loves, and he's cellaring deep. And I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I cellared wide. That crazy Maryland cellar you see out there, that was my first year in pipes. I cellared really wide. And what you've seen in the last year now, I've cellared very deep in my dark fireds. I've cellared very deep in my burleys. I cellared deep in my cherry vanilla, and I've cellared deep in my no bite delight. And that's, I'm kind of coming to the end of it. So I'm going to try to jump on some oregano tomorrow at noon. But I'm done cellaring wide, that's for sure, and I'm pretty much got what I need. I mean, I don't have to buy another ounce of tobacco, and I could probably smoke 5 bowls a day till the day I die, even if I make it to 90. So anyway, I agree with what Johnny said. Cellar deep, not wide. And if you can afford to, start doing it now, because you never know when that favorite blend is going to get lined out. God forbid C and D get acquired, or Gawith and Hogarth gets acquired. What a nightmare that would be. So anyway, just something to keep in mind. Cellar deep and get started on it if you can afford it. So another subject. I knew I relied on you guys as my social interaction, particularly here in Maryland, but I really didn't realize how much so until I realized how many people are stepping away from social media, either entirely or at least for a while. I think Jess Piper's back. I've seen a couple from him, but he went away for like 3 or 4 months. Powder Piper's down to about 1 video a month right now. Scott, Hoosier Marshall's down to about 1 video a month or every couple of weeks. Jock in South Africa just said he's leaving social media for a while. Uncle Willie is basically, I think, decided to stay off social media for the foreseeable future. Pat up north has completely changed his channel. Back to more of a metal detector. He doesn't talk to us much anymore. I used to love those videos he did when he'd sit at his desk and talk to us, but he said those were so unpopular with his viewers that he stopped doing them. So it's just kind of interesting, not any one of you, but across the spectrum of the channels I watch, how many of you either stopped or all but stopped doing YouTube. I don't know, I feel like maybe I'm missing something. But anyway, I do miss you guys. You guys used to be regular posters and part of my almost daily life. I do miss you guys. Yeah, and Dave over at St. Dave's kind of said he's stepping down for a while. Now he's done a couple, but he kind of said he's largely done because he doesn't have any more material. So he's another one, man. He's posted a couple, so can't say I miss him as much as I did a couple of weeks ago because at least he's doing some more. Um, and then Saw Gunner, Jason, I know he said he's basically stepped off YouTube for lack of material as well. So those are two more guys that I miss. Anyways, it's been a real trend, a real pattern in our community for the last 3-4 months. So again, I just wondered, what am I missing? So as we take a look at Sasha and Finn playing, it's really interesting when you have German Shepherds that are raised by Golden Retrievers. Because Sasha plays so much like a Golden Retriever to me. She's so kind and gentle. She doesn't have that kind of aggressive play that I see in German Shepherds. And it's interesting because Sean's dog, Ranger, is raised by Golden Retrievers, and he too plays super kind and gentle. It's really an interesting study in dog breeds. So I think I'll close out. Show you one thing. Made a decision today to convert my Tupperdoor system into a plug-in humidor. Um, Nothing like what I have in Wyoming, but it's something I'll have on. Put it in the paddock here. It should be here in the next couple days. So it's a 940 count plug-in humidor, so I can stop using the Bovita bags across the 14 Tupperdoor system. And even if I went crazy and about 100 sticks of all 14 types, it's at 1400. So, but certainly for my top 10, even if I went with 100 sticks per top 10, that'd be a lifetime supply out here in Maryland, and they'd all go in this unit. So I just that way I can be gone a little longer, not worry about the Bovita bags wearing out. So anyway, I'll put in a quick picture of that. All right, guys, that's enough. We turned this thing into a grab bag for the day, which is kind of good. But that's it. So hope you guys had a great start to your week. The storms that went through the Midwest are supposed to get here around 6-7 o'clock tonight. Clouds are already building up over here. So as the sun gets trapped behind the clouds and the breeze picks up, it's dropping the temperature a little bit. It's nice. All right, guys, I enjoy these chats. So if you made it this far, thank you very much. I appreciate all the comments and questions you guys have been sending in. It's probably averaging about 100 a day right now, so I'm struggling a little bit with keeping up with all the comments. So I'm behind. I'm a day or two behind, but I'll probably get caught up tomorrow. So anyway, hope you got a great week planned out in front of you, and really that's it. So may God bless your lives. May God turn His ear to hear your prayers. May God make His face shine upon you, and may He bless your lives like He continues to bless mine. Good night, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.